Hey guys, it is your girl Jade Ashley, and I am back for yet another video of When a Beat Drops. And like always, I'm here to give you my 5 hottest beats in music of this week. So of course, you gotta stay tuned for more. Okay guys, so let's dive into our 5 hottest beats in music of this week. So my first beat of this week, I want to talk about the new reality show, Growing Up Hip Hop ATL. Now I've been on, not on the show, but I've been like put on and known about the whole Growing Up Hip Hop, franchise from very, very, very early on. I mentioned it in like very, 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 very early videos of When a Beat Drops, when I still had the pink room and everything. So, they added ATL to the franchise, and I felt pretty much like the entire cast represented ATL and the whole meaning of growing up hip hop, pretty well. So I'm just pretty much gonna go through my thoughts and stuff like that with the first episode that just passed within this past week. And then of course, like always, I'm always leaving my comments open for you guys to just let me know your thoughts. But let me first tell you what I think about some of the cast members. So the first person I have to talk about is Bow Wow. Of course, Bow Wow, he serves as one of the producers, and I just feel like Bow Wow is definitely the epitome of growing up hip hop, because we've literally watched him grow up in front of our eyes. We've grown up with Bow Wow, from him being like a child rapper to, I don't know if he's a rapper still, but so Bow Wow is definitely the epitome of hip hop, well, growing up hip hop, and he is like, I guess you could say like the leader of the cast, if you want to say quote unquote. Seen a lot of people was like, oh, we say too much Bow Wow. I was like, he's an executive producer, number 1, and number 2, don't act like y'all don't want to see Bow Wow. Like, as annoying as he is nowadays, let's not act like a couple of years ago we was not all just fiending for him, and like, and this is his first time on reality television, so I think Bow Wow pretty much gets a fair enough camera time. Well, at least it was only 1 episode, but I can just pinpoint a couple of things. So basically, it started with him coming back to Atlanta from LA with his family and stuff like that. He was planning for this release party for this whack ass mixtape that he did with Soulja Boy. I remember when he talked about it, it was whack then. Just the idea of it was corny as hell. So he was dead ass, obviously, about celebrating the release of his whack ass mixtape. So he came back to Atlanta to promote his whack ass mixtape with Soulja Boy. And yeah, he just pretty much, my name is Bow Wow, this and that. I started rapping at 5. I got discovered by Snoop by 7. Got signed to So Def. Jermaine Dupri been like a dad to me. I released all of these albums, went on all of these tours, and the stats basically. That was that. And then he kind of pretty much took about, I dated all of these people in the industry. Then they showing pictures of Sierra and America Mena, and apparently him and Keisha Cole really did have a relationship and all that other shit. And then he was kind of like, right now, me and my daughter's mom, I always called her Joey. I thought his baby mother name was Joey, but her name is Joy, right? So whatever. But he was saying that they was trying to like, work it out. Then she called him like, hey, what you doing? And he like, yeah, I just got to Atlanta and this and that. She like, stay out the club, and he's like, it's just work and all of this other stuff. So Bow Wow being Bow Wow, he go to the pre-turn up before. I'm skipping around actually, but yeah. One thing that I pretty much liked about Bow Wow, like on the show, I liked watching his relationship with Jermaine Dupri and the Brat. Like, we know he's been with Jermaine Dupri and the Brat since he was a little kid, obviously. And, just him going to the studio and him saying to Jermaine Dupri, like, I'm serious about doing music. JD is like, you just dropped this whole mixtape with Soulja Boy and the music wasn't even serious. Like, I'm not even trying to hear you until you like dead ass. And then seeing him, go to Jermaine Dupri's house with the Brat, and basically it's like a family. Like, it's like a big brother, big sister, dad, like just kind of like them, saying to him like, look, you need to come back to ATL, you need to be locked in the studio, you need to be focused, and you need to drop a new album because it's been years since you dropped the album and stuff like that. So just seeing like that family dynamic between him, Jermaine Dupri, and the Brat was something that I thought was pretty cool, because imagine if they would have had like a reality show back in the days when Bow Wow was still Little Bow Wow and stuff like that. But I guess just to see their relationship and their dynamic now at the age and the stages that they are in their career is pretty dope. So I like that feeling of it. It made me want to see more, to be honest, despite what people were saying. You know, also in that whole scene, we got to be introduced to Jermaine Dupri's daughter, Shania. She seems like a sweet person from this first episode. You kind of see like the dynamic to where I guess like Bow Wow is pretty much like her big brother, because you know how like JD was like a father to Bow Wow and stuff. So I mean, it was pretty cool. Like I said, he had like this whole party. So a good chunk of the episode kind of like surrounded around like the entire cast, you know, attending this party for his whack ass mixtape, and then just kind of skipping towards the end of the episode, since I'm talking about each cast member person. You know, he pretty much gets to his release party, he's partying and all of this other stuff, and apparently he had some beef with somebody. I guess like a former friend or something like that, and he was like, how you got in here and all of this and that. Grab these people, they talking about you got your gun, my gun in the car. Like, that part we could have left out. Like, and he was like, I understand. He was like, see, this is why I don't want to come back to Atlanta, because it's not always safe. You know, I'm trying to make it home to my daughter every night and all of this other stuff. But I felt like Bow Wow was doing a little bit too much when he started talking about the, you know, if I go, we all go, or, you know, I'm ready and the gun, like, he could have stopped it there. He's like, Bow Wow, you're not really big and bad like that, okay? So, well, other than that, I so far pretty much like seeing Bow Wow on this show so far. He ain't do nothing to piss me off yet. But, other than that, like I said, I mentioned Jermaine Dupri's daughter, Shania, Zanique. Now, I feel like, you know, we're gonna get like a little continuation of like the family hustle now that it's over on VH1. So I feel like we're gonna get like a little bit of continuation with that situation when it comes to Zanique. So I mean, I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm sure a good amount of people pretty much know the background when it comes to Zanique. You know, she was a member of the OMG Girls. The OMG Girls, they, you know, they had, I don't even think they dropped like an official album, but they had a couple of singles. So like I was saying, you know, everybody pretty much, you know, Zanique and how she used to be a member of OMG Girls. The OMG Girls kind of like dismantled, and even towards the end of Family Hustle, we pretty much got to see her, you know, working on her, like her solo project, and, you know, being inspired by her mom, and, you know, just kind of want to follow in her, like, her mom's footsteps and stuff like that. So I feel like this is a great show for her storyline in particular to kind of like, you know, live on, although, you know, Family Hustle is over, and just to like, you know, follow her on her journey. So, you know, pretty much we only got to see kind of like a snippet of her working on her music. She was working with Brandon, who is Deb Antony's son, and I didn't even know Deb had another son. I'm like, damn, how many kids she got? She got Walker. She had her other son who passed a couple of years ago. So I was like, but anyway, besides that, so yeah, we got to we'll get to see her focus on her solo endeavors. I mentioned Brandon becoming her vocal coach. Now I do feel like that whole little scene where, you know, she was she pretty much ended the vocal lesson on Regine's account was kind of like, I was like, girl, you should have just stuck with your vocal lesson and then got to Regine. But I mean, if we're gonna segue into Regine, I know that we all probably remember this whole situation where Lil Wayne, he did the, like, what was it, I think like Dateline or something like that. It was an interview basically where he was like, they asked him about Black Lives Matter. He said he had no connection to it. Everybody had their thoughts about it. So in this particular episode, we kind of pretty much seen how like Regine dealt with that whole situation where, you know, everybody's pretty much just talking about her dad, and he was like facing backlash for his comments and that thing. And I feel like Regine, she's just a little bit too turned up, like just simmer down and stuff like that. So she was basically really ready to pop on anybody that said anything disrespectful about her father. And I mean, I feel like that's any of us in any situation who, you know, has a relationship with our parents. But I mean, I just feel like she was a little bit too much. I mean, this is something that she might deal with, you know, on a different scale from the rest of us, seeing how her dad is Lil Wayne. So you would think at this point in time, she would have had some type of, you know, I guess self-control over it. And we all remember when T.I. pretty much responded to his whole situation, and then her, you know, commenting and tagging T.I. like, you know, you got his phone number, you ain't have to do this on social media and all of this other stuff. So, you know, her and Zanique did say that they were going to stay out of it, and she went back on her word and didn't stay out of it. her mom told her to stay out of it. She was like, this is between two grown men, and she was like, I'm 17, so practically I'm grown, I can do what I want. Like, the reviews as far as like when it came to Reginae, like seeing her on the show, like a lot of people really was not feeling her. Like, I just remember even going on Twitter. I'm gonna go to my Twitter because there was a couple of tweets that I liked just to kind of like bring back when I did this video. So like when it came to like Reginae, they was like, I couldn't even be on the show with Reginae because, and then they got like the memes of people fighting. How come Reginae couldn't be like Zanique and stay in the child's place? That's beef was between Tip and Wayne. Her input was not needed. So a lot of people was pretty much gearing up for Reginae to be like a problem, and they already like, I don't like on the show and stuff like that. Other than that, I mentioned Brandon, Deb Anthony's son. He did seem a little bit annoying in like the previews and stuff like that, but I mean, he didn't really get too much camera time, so I'm still pretty much trying to figure him out. And then his cousin, who is also the daughter of I guess like the DJ from like the Beastie Boys, Ariana. You know, she definitely wasn't really on the camera that much, so I'm still trying to wait for, you know, like future episodes to kind of like learn more about her and fill her out. But I will say, I definitely feel like her and Reginae look exactly alike. Ariana and Reginae, I feel like they look alike, and she's 25 and she does not look 25. She looks way younger than 25. But if you checked out Growing Up Hip Hop ATL, definitely comment below and let me know your thoughts on the first episode. Other than that, we're gonna move on to my second beat of this week, and I have to talk about Mr. Bryson Tiller. So the last video of When the Beat Drops that I did give him the song of the week because he released 3 tracks in one day, as well as the album release date for his new album, True to Self. And yeah, so a lot definitely happened between that last video of When the Beat Drops and now. So he pretty much was like, why wait a whole month? Let me drop this album a month early. That's exactly what he said. So he dropped it this past week, and I've pretty much been listening to it since it dropped. So yeah, he dropped it early. He also dropped the music video to his song Something Tells Me, which is the leading single off of the album. Those were one of the 3 tracks that he had released prior, you know. So yeah, the whole album to me, like, I can't go into detail with every song, only for the simple fact that I'm still, you know, it's literally been like 3 days since, while I'm recording this, it's been like 3 days since the album came out. So I have, like, you know, a couple of songs that pretty much stuck with me with the amount of times that I've listened to it. But overall, like, I feel like when you listen to the whole project within itself, I just feel like it's a whole vibe. Like, first of all, it's Bryson Tiller, so it's like the music that he makes. So like, I just kind of feel like the whole project is a vibe, basically. But I mean, if there's any songs that stuck out to me the most, the first one would definitely have to be Rain on Me. And I like how they have like the, you know, SWV reference within that song, and that's the first track, like I said. The second one, which is really dope to me, like, I don't know, like, this is a song, I feel like, I don't know if he's gonna release any more singles, seeing how I did say he released 3. But Don't Get Too High, that's my shit right there. That is I don't smoke or anything, but that's my shit. Don't Get Too High. Definitely also Blowing Smoke. I love the beat for Self Made, and then I already mentioned Something Tells Me. So those are like my 5 favorite on the album so far. But if you already caught Bryson Tiller's new album and you gave it a listen, definitely comment below and let me know your thoughts. Let me know your favorite songs. Maybe you can suggest some songs that I probably already listened to, but maybe give me something so I can, like, you know, maybe listen to it a little bit more and stuff like that. So hopefully by the end of this week I can probably do like a more in-depth, you know, about the album. But I definitely had to mention it because that's like the hottest, you know, album that's out right now and that everyone is talking about. Other than that, I always try to keep an uplift, you know, spirit when I do like my topics. But I definitely have to mention the Manchester bombing that did happen. And I have to mention it obviously because it was following an Ariana Grande concert. So this happened early last week, like literally Monday. So basically Ariana, she is on her she's on her tour right now, and she was in the UK, she was in Manchester. And basically how I interpret it, or how I kind of found out about it, obviously through social media, there was videos going around from inside the arena that she had that she was performing at. And basically the show was over, and I guess like while people were exiting and making their way out of the arena, it was like this big boom. Everybody went into a frenzy, then it was confirmed that it was a bombing that went down after her show in her arena. And we learned that it was through a self-bomber, so the person who did it obviously is not alive, but they had identified him as a 22-year-old British like Muslim. He was a part of it. I can't like pronounce his name, but yeah, they identified the bomber and stuff like that. Other than that, you know, there were 22 people, at least 22 people that were killed in this incident, and there was a whole bunch of other people that were like injured. At one point in time, ISIS, they claimed that they had responsibility for it, but then, you know, officials were kind of saying like, you know, ISIS is saying they did it, but they don't have proof that they did it, and the details that they were saying didn't match up with the actual factuals. So, you know, ISIS was trying to take blame for it, I guess, well, trying to take responsibility for it. Other than that, there were 14 people that have been arrested so far leading up to today that, you know, had some type of involvement with this tragedy. Yeah, Ariana, she was definitely traumatized, and as any person would be, I know she kind of felt like some responsibility, because even when she first said something, she was like, I'm so sorry, I did not mean for this to happen. For people to come out to a concert, enjoy one of their favorite artists, and, you know, just be happy that this concert happened, and then on your way out you just die, you know, and stuff like that. And yeah, so she, like, even the photos, like paparazzi photos of her showed her just real like out of it. But then she released a statement, you know, talking about how heartbroken she was and sent her prayers to the people that were affected. And she also mentioned that she was going to be putting on a benefit concert to, you know, benefit those that was affected by the whole situation. Two other artists that were mentioned that, you know, helped with making a big contribution to those who were affected was Eminem and Justin Timberlake. They were able to help raise over $2 million so far. So prayers to everybody that was affected by that situation, because that's just like so crazy. It's like, damn, now you can't even go to concerts, and like summertime is coming up, so, you know, concerts is really the thing. So it's like now people are just like scared to go to concerts, because it's like, and even though it didn't happen here in the US, you know, there's always some shit going down here too. So, but prayers to everybody that was affected in that situation. So moving on, we're going to talk about my fourth beat of this week, and that is DJ Khaled. So this is just a rumor so far, but I'm going to talk about it because I feel like this rumor is a good idea. So I'm sure you guys know by now, about 3 weeks ago, LA Reid, he resigned from his position as like the head of like Epic Records and stuff like that. It was no official reason as to why he resigned, but shortly after his resignation, you know, there were, you know, sexual harassment claims that came out. So, you know, but there's no still official reason as to why. But obviously when things like that happen, the next question is, so who's going to take the position? So earlier within a week, you know, somebody had said to Page 6, you know, a source, you know, he didn't say it himself, so that's why we have to call it alleged until something happens. But a source revealed that DJ Khaled is actually kind of eyeing, you know, LA Reid's former position and stuff like that. And I'm just like, it's a pretty good idea. Like, DJ Khaled, you know, taking LA Reid's former position at Epic Records, I'm here for it. Like, I think that's a pretty good idea. Not to mention that he's already on Epic, so that's number one. If y'all didn't know that, he's already on Epic Records. So, you know, he's dropping, you know, these top-selling albums and singles and stuff on that record label. So why not? You know, I mean, this guy can literally have anybody on the record at this point in time. The simple fact that he was able to get Betty right, number one, when he did Major Key. When I first heard, I was like, okay. So he could get Betty right, Beyonce, Nas, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. Recently, he just got Rihanna. So, you know, he's already bringing hits to the record label, number one. Number two, he obviously does something right, so he can bring hits or help, you know, with music. Instead of just being an executive, you know, he can be, you know, handle more, you know, with up-and-coming artists that might be on the label or artists that are already on the label. So I definitely, like, if this is true, I would definitely be here for DJ Khaled taking LA Reid's former position at Epic Records. So you can definitely, you know, comment below, let me know your thoughts. You know, DJ Khaled, he does it all. So why can he not, you know, help from the record label, right? You know, comment below, let me know your thoughts. Other than that, my last beat of this week, I have to talk about the Get Down getting canceled from Netflix. Oh, so I was a little bit sad, I'll say. The Get Down, obviously, it was a show that I enjoyed because it was music oriented. Anything music, I'm here for it. and it definitely gave like obviously a different era within music. To me, I feel like I like to learn, so it definitely was like something that you can learn from. So set in 1970s New York, the Bronx and stuff like that. So it kind of talks about like the origins of hip hop and everything, and it has like its own storylines with Maliha and like it just Charlotte Fantastic and the Get Down Brothers. Like, it's just so much that goes on. I mean, I do feel like obviously the first season was dragged out. A lot of people were saying, oh, well, it already had 2 seasons. It did not have 2 seasons. It was 1 season. Even when I talked about it in my review, they split the first season into 2 halves. So the first half was premiered last year, and then the second half premiered recently back in April last month. So but what I learned while reading about the cancellation is basically the showrunner, this is like his first show, really, like his first show like with Netflix and stuff like that. He more so does movies, and I guess like his schedule and everything that he has going on, it kind of caused like a lot of issues with production and stuff like that, which is why they had it kind of released in 2 halves on Netflix. And this is one of Netflix's most expensive shows, like $120 million to make this show. So I mean, it pretty is, to me, it's sad, because this is one less music related thing that's out there for us to kind of like enjoy. And then definitely how the show ended, kind of like, with Zeke, he was getting ready to go to school. Get Down Brothers was really, picking up and stuff like that. Maliha, she's becoming this big disco star, like, and then I feel like the way it ended, there was obviously more that could have been done, but unfortunately Netflix, they canceled the show. So I mean, if you are a fan of the Get Down, or if you weren't a fan of the Get Down, definitely comment below and let me know how you're feeling about this show being canceled. So I guess we might want to rewatch it before Netflix snatch it down or whatever. So yeah, other than that, those are my 5 hot beats of this week. Okay guys, so I want to thank you for tuning into this week's video, and of course I have to end every single video by reminding you guys to comment, like, subscribe, and share. It would greatly be appreciated. Unfortunately, I have no notes to leave you guys with this week, but of course I have to leave you with my song of the week. And if there's one artist that I'm just like listening to and I just can't stop listening to, is definitely Playboi Carti. So I couldn't choose which song I wanted, but I'm gonna just go with the most popular song right now, and I'm going to make his song Magnolia my song of the week. Like, even if you follow me on Snapchat, I'll be turning up to that. My friends are in Atlanta right now. They was in a club, they Snapchatted me just because my song was on, because that's literally my song. I really don't know what he's saying in the whole song. All I know is, in New York I merely rock, riding on my socks, something something something, and I shoot that ox. Like, I don't know what he be saying, but I don't care. That's half of the music nowadays anyway. I love it. If you definitely did not hear that song, I will attach it below. Other than that, definitely don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. So bye. Hey guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to share and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.